a cherished lover. The grey-eyed girl was born in Warsaw on November 7, 1867, the year chemist and orchid cultivator Alfred Nobel patented dynamite. She would become famous as Marie Curie, twice winning the prize Nobel established with his explosives fortune. Encouraged by his father, a physician in the lab of neuroanatomist Louis-Pierre Gratiolet, labeler of brain lobes, Pierre tracked salamanders and frogs in the forests outside Paris. He was a daydreamer. It was suggested he was perhaps even a bit dim. Pierre. I can't let my head go with every breeze, losing it to the slightest breath it meets. He began studying Latin and math, and soon dispelled the early doubts about his intelligence. By 14, he was working to expand the mathematical theory of determinants into the third dimension. By 16, Pierre had a university degree. At 21, he published a paper on heat waves. After joining the Sorbonne's Laboratory of Mineralogy, he began an extended study of crystals. He was fascinated by the symmetries he found in crystalline structures, mirrorings spun out in all directions. Maria, the youngest of 4 sisters and a brother, lived under Russian rule in partitioned Poland. Mr. Ornberg, a state inspector, would burst in on her school lessons to demand the students recite the names of the Tsars and members of the Russian imperial family. By the time she was 11, Maria had lost her eldest sister, Zosha, to typhus, and then her mother to tuberculosis. She studied herself into exhaustion and collapse. At 16, Maria was sent to visit relatives in the Carpathian Mountains near a lake called the Eye of the Sea. She picked wild strawberries. Maria. We sleep sometimes at night and sometimes by day. We dance and we run to such follies that sometimes we deserve to be locked up in an asylum for the insane. Returning to Warsaw, Maria joined the Flying University, a clandestine network of 1,000 women who met in secret and defied the Russian grip on education. She imagined the freedom of studying in Paris at the Sorbonne. To save for the tuition, at 17, she left home to work as a governess in the countryside. A young woman took Pierre's heart. Then, in circumstances lost to history, she died. He swore off romance. Pierre. I experienced a sort of delight in torturing myself. I vowed to lead a priest's existence. He twisted his heartbreak into suspicion and convinced himself that love would derail his scientific ambitions. The mistress wishes to possess her lover and would find it natural to sacrifice the rarest genius in the world for an hour of love. At 35, Pierre Curie was still living with his parents. Maria became the governess to the daughters of Juliusz Zorawski, the supervisor of an enormous sugar beet factory northeast of Warsaw. When the family's eldest son, a math student named Kazimierz, visited home from university, he and Maria fell in love. The Zorawskis were horrified. This working-class girl was beneath them, and they threatened to disown their son. The young man folded, abandoning his lover. Maria was heartbroken and humiliated. Maria. I have fallen into black melancholy. Our daily companions are dreadful west winds, with embellishments of rain, flood, and mud. My existence, strangely, resembles that of one of those slugs which haunt the dirty water of our river. Pierre. I did not regret my nights passed in the woods and my solitary days. If I had the time, I would let myself recount my musings. I would describe my delicious valley, filled with the perfume of aromatic plants, the beautiful mass of foliage, so fresh and so humid, that hung over the Bièvre, the fairy palace with its colonnade of hops, the stony hills, red with heather. We must eat, drink, sleep, be idle, have sex, love, touch the sweetest things in life, and yet not succumb to them. Maria. I was barely 18 when I came here, and what I have not been through. There have been moments which I shall certainly count among the most cruel of my life.